and also has portraits of her and other materials, all from our collections. If you take a chance, again, afterwards, you can walk up the stairs there off the lobby to see our newly installed Black Power exhibition. This is also part of our $20 million renovation that really highlights the landmark status. There's these beautiful floor-to-ceiling windows there that I hope you'll get to see, and get to see out onto 135th Street and bring some of that outside in. I'd like to thank some of our society, well, all of our Schomburg Society members, some of whom are here, I know. Your support makes it possible for us to deliver consistent, high-caliber programming free to the public all year round. I'm especially excited tonight to see the film and about our ongoing partnership with WNET. We present American Masters programs relevant to our communities all year round, and we look forward to presenting more as they highlight unsung figures in our history. Thank you to the WNET Community Relations Team, Hilary Vlachos, Executive Director, and Mary Burke, Associate Director. I'd like now to introduce Neil Shapiro, President and CEO.
Thank you, Kevin. Good evening, everybody. First, congratulations, Kevin, on your new role here, and thank you for your hospitality tonight. We're truly honored to be here. As Kevin said, we have a long history of partnership, and tonight we continue with our celebration of American Masters, Maya Angelou, and Still I Rise. As you well know, we can't do it alone. We truly are stronger together, or as someone once wrote, it takes a village. Collaborations like this one and our new efforts through the entire New York Public Library system are essential to communicating important stories within our community. And what a story we're telling tonight. Dr. Angelou, through the power of words and across numerous art forms, made us re-examine our own history and push the boundaries to become active participants in our nation's ever-changing narrative. She is the embodiment of the American Masters canon, and American Masters, Maya Angelou, and Still I Rise is the perfect addition to the series anthology. The film has already been noticed and honored, having won 17 awards worldwide, including most recently its nomination for an NAACP Image Award. And we can't wait to share a preview of it with you today. The full film will air on PBS stations across the country, including right here on 13, on February 21st at 8 p.m. I encourage you to tune in, to seek out the film, and you can watch tonight's panel discussion on 13.org. As President and CEO of WNET, I'm honored to be a part of the effort to bring this film to PBS and to help share the story of such a pivotal figure in our nation's history. Thanks go to many people who made this film and this event possible, including Beth Hoppe from PBS, Tony Marks, who you met from the library, and his talented team. I also want to thank our trustees, our donors, and of course, viewers like you. We simply can't do it without you. Dr. Angelou's legacy will live on for generations, not just because of her talent, but because of the dedication of so many, including the Schomburg and Dr. Angelou's immensely talented and deeply committed grandson, Colin Johnson, co-founder and principal of the Caged Bird Legacy. Thank you for your support for this project, Colin, and thank you for joining us this evening. Dr. Angelou was the first African-American poet to read at a presidential inauguration, where she shared her understanding of the country's troubled past and conveyed great hope for the future, a hope that was shared and echoed by then newly elected President Bill Clinton. Dr. Angelou and President Clinton shared roots in Arkansas and a great love of the country. So we are privileged to have with us tonight two distinguished public servants, two longtime friends and supporters of Dr. Angelou. Here they are, accompanied by Colin Johnson. Please welcome President William Clinton and Secretary Harold Rodham Clinton.
Thank you very much. My name is Colin Johnson. I'm Dr. Angelou's grandson. And one of the things that my grandmother taught me is that you don't get far without friends. With that being said, I'd like to say thank you to Kevin Young and Neil Shapiro for their support of getting us here today. And I'd like to thank the Clintons here. Secretary Hillary Clinton and President Bill Clinton have been friends for us for years and supportive of my grandmother all the way from Arkansas to the White House. And with that, I'd like to present them this plaque. This is On the Pulse of Morning. This poem was flown on the Space Shuttle Orion through the NASA program in 2015. So it's flown to space and back. So where do you get the person that has everything? Something that they can't buy. I'd like to present this on the behalf of Cagebird Legacy, myself, Colin Johnson, my family, the Angelou Johnson family, and my grandmother.
Well, thank you very much. As someone who took a lot of heat at various times from being a fanatic supporter of the space program and scientific research generally, I treasure that. I thank you, Kevin, for what you're doing for this center. Thank you, Neil Shapiro, for what you said and for the amazing work of the library. And Colin, thank you for so much and for honoring the memory of your grandmother in a way she would be very proud of. That celestial gift of her inaugural program put me in mind of the fact that on the 30th anniversary of a man walking on the moon, 1999, NASA gave me a moon rock encased in a vacuum-proof crystal case, or clear case anyway, and it was carbon dated at 3.6 billion years old. So I had this crazy idea, which may have some bearing on the business today. I put it on the table between the two chairs you see in the Oval Office. Whenever you see a president sitting there talking to somebody else and their chairs on it, there's a table there. I put the moon rock there. And when people started screaming at each other, I said, guys, chill out. See that rock? It's 3.6 billion years old. We are all just passing through. This will go with a wonderful gift that we got for our home from my Chief of Staff, Tina Furnoy, who's here tonight. It's basically a granite bench, and in it there is this inscription: a rock, a river, a tree. A rock to stand on, a river to rest by, a tree with great roots to represent all the strains of the American mosaic. Maya's images from On the Pulse of Morning. After a difficult childhood, which she memorialized in I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing, which I read as soon as it came out, and it riveted me because Stamps, Arkansas, where much of the book is set, was 24 miles from where I was born. And after that, she just was getting started. She became the first African-American woman to be a streetcar director, a short order cook, a singer, a dancer. She edited a newspaper in Egypt, did remarkable work in Ghana. Came home and worked with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And I said at her memorial service, you know, after 40 years, Maya Angelou lived enough lives for 5 people. So she spent the second half of her life writing books about the first half and letting us in on the secret and the wisdom. I thank you for this documentary and for giving us a chance to be a part of it. Maya said a lot of remarkable things. I will mention only 3. In her poem, she said, history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. She said, when people tell you who they are, you should believe them. She said, when I ran into her at the 50th anniversary celebration of signing of the Civil Rights Act, and then the next year the Voting Rights Act, but the LBJ Library had a whole issue in 2014, where they were celebrating the 50th anniversary. There she was with Bill Russell. He's still towering, she in her wheelchair. I said, Maya, I can't believe you went to the trouble to come over here. And she said, just because I'm wheelchair bound doesn't mean I don't get around. And I realized, you know, she just comes up with this stuff even when she doesn't sit there with a pad and labor over every word like the rest of us poor frustrated writers do. She was a gift to all of us who knew her. Our friendship more precious than any metal or jewel. And she was a true friend to Hillary. And sunshine and storm, in ways large and small, public and intensely private. I treasure every encounter either one of us ever had. And I'd like to cede the microphone to Hillary. We are all in her debt.
You know, we are all in her debt, and I remember so vividly Bill's and my conversations about his inauguration, how he wanted it to appear, what he wanted it to mean and feel to people. And it's hard to remember exactly which one of us came up with the idea of a poem. I think it was me. But it did not take long after we decided a poet must be at his inauguration for us to decide to ask Maya Angelou. Both Bill and I had been admirers and fans of her work and what we knew of her life. I had followed her career. She was a phenomenal woman in every way. And it seemed so perfect that someone who had spent those years in Stamps, Arkansas, would be on the platform with the new, then young president from Arkansas. But I also was so personally grateful for her advice and her support to me over a number of years and experiences. She and I had a wonderful time at Wake Forest in 2008. We did more laughing than talking, which I think conveyed to the students something about the resilience and the enthusiasm for life that she wanted them to understand. So we are honored to be here at this great center. We thank everyone associated with Schomburg. It is, in and of itself, such an important institution, and as part of the greatest public library system in the world, it stands with such intelligence and dignity for the work that it represents. And I want to thank Colin and the Johnson and Angela family for really being like family to us, giving us the privilege of being part of that extended family. I want to just end with a few timely quotes from her inaugural poem. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. And then it ends. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes, into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning. Thank you, Dr. Angelou.
Wow. That was incredible. Thank you. Thank you, President Clinton and Secretary Clinton. I'm Michael Cantor, executive producer of the American Masters series. And throughout its 31-year history, American Masters has been illuminating the journeys of those who've left an enduring legacy on our cultural landscape. And we're proud to include Dr. Maya Angelou in this group of distinguished individuals. Our broadcast of Maya Angelou and Still I Rise kicks off a year-long campaign generously funded by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which celebrates women who've inspired each and every one of us. Out in the gallery, you'll see a setup called a Step and Repeat, where you can share a story of an inspiring woman in your own life. Or go online and type pbs.org/inspiringwoman, and you can share your story there. In March, American Masters will be airing programs on singer Patsy Cline and photographer Dorothea Lange. And upcoming films will feature the writers Lorraine Hansberry and Toni Morrison and actress-inventor Hedy Lamarr. Maya Angelou and Still I Rise is the first feature documentary about the extraordinary Dr. Angelou. Filmmakers Rita Coburn-Wack and Bob Hercules gained unprecedented access to Dr. Angelou and her archives, and the result is truly inspiring. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Rita and Bob, who poured years of their lives and blood, sweat, and tears into making this incredible film, Bob Hercules and Rita Coburn-Wack.
Thank you very much, Michael, and thank you, everybody, for coming. We want to thank the Schomburg Center, as everybody has said, such an incredible place here. I will point out that some of the archives that are in the film come from the Schomburg, obviously. Rita and I came here and did a lot of research, and so a lot of the images, or some of the images in the film, come from here. So I want to thank the Schomburg Center for hosting this wonderful event. It's great. We started working on the film back in 2011. And it was a 5-year journey, and it was an incredible journey. We felt very lucky and honored to be the ones to tell the full story of Dr. Maya Angelou. I will say that when we started in 2011, we could never have known where we would be today. And I will say, and we've been showing that the film has been out for about a year. It premiered at Sundance about a year ago. And I will say that, interestingly enough, after the election, we noticed that it had a kind of an extra resonance for people because of the words of Dr. Maya Angelou, her message of inclusion and bringing people together, dialogue, reconciliation, forgiveness. Those are all messages that were central to her life. And I think we saw just such an emotional reaction from people when we've been showing the film in the last couple months, that it really heartened me that this, in a way, is I think Secretary Clinton pointed out, is sort of like a salve. It's like a force of healing. And so we're very proud that the film seems to have that effect on people. It was a very great honor to make this film and to have the full support of the family, of Dr. Angelou's family. Before I turn it over to Rita, I just want to thank some of our funders, some of whom are here today. Of course, WNET, American Masters, Michael Cantor and Julie Sachs, and the entire staff at American Masters have been incredible to help us complete this film. It will air, as they said, next